Your pockets ain't empty, cuz. First of all, okay, YouTube.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know whose that was.
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry, I didn't know what she.
Do we need to restart this?
Nah, let's. Nah, we're
Okay, this is the review for Fast and the Furious 6. Second collaboration, Joe Wilson, Joe Johnson, aka. Alright, so this afternoon we looked at Fast and the Furious 6. So this takes place right literally after Fast 5. Now, we're going to talk about the action, we're going to talk about the scenery, the environments, we're going to talk about the acting in this one, we're going to talk about the story. Because to me, the story in this one's probably the best. It like kind of, it brings everything full circle. But it's also debatable that this has the most action out of all the rest of them.
By far. By far. The most action. The most.
I'm not going to play the biased party, so we'll just go ahead and get it in. Alright. We're going to give a clear-cut rating of the environment, the action. So, off the gate, Joe, what do you think about the action as far as the scenery and the location they shot it in? I think they started off in London this time around. But then they also were in Brazil and all different kind of set pieces. So what did you think of it?
Well, for starters, I'm not sure the exact location where the movie started, but the movie starts and it's like this scene of Brian and Don, you know what I'm saying? They're racing, you know what I'm saying, along the edge of the cliff. I don't know where it is, but the scenery is great. And the road there is like the circuit there is just crazy. It's like wow, these guys are professional drivers.
It's true.
And it's awesome.
It looked like the Great Wall of China almost.
Yeah.
Like they were like.
It looked like something off like Gran Turismo or Forza.
Forza.
Like it was beautiful.
Yeah. So I guess for me, definitely they came from so many different levels of locations. They went London, they went to LA again, they went to Brazil, they went all over the place. And to me, they took a lot more time in developing the story around the areas. Like it was like each and every area was very important. Like just playing everybody. But no, on the reality of how it actually was as far as the environment and the scenery, was amazing. Now the music for this time around, it was actually a lot more upbeat. Like I even liked the music. The soundtrack was actually pretty good. I don't know how many artists were in it, but I know that I think Wiz Khalifa and 2 Chainz, they did a song that was on the opening montage, and that goes through like the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, and then straight to the sixth one. And it's really well made, but it plays throughout most of the soundtrack. That all right, this is something that they've never really kind of done before, explored, but based on the area they're in, it's kind of unfamiliar territory, and it's always like a sense of danger in the movie to me.
Always.
And okay, so based on that, now we think about the action and the visuals. So what you think about action?
The action was just crazy, man. Like they literally every turn is just you don't know what is going to happen next. And also, I want to point out the skill of the drivers is just amazing because they improvise on the spot. You think, how is he going to get out of this situation? Um, and they get out of it, and it's like, and it's just nonstop.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen next. It happens, and it's just crazy. So many gadgets, like the gadgets in the movie, the technology. Uh, you don't know how they're going to like trump this technology that they're being coming up against, and they really do it, and it's just crazy. It's like brawling, racing. They still incorporated the street racing, even though it's like a top scale military class uh, mobility type of movie. Like these guys aren't street racers anymore, but they still incorporated the street race lifestyle into the movie. It's beautiful. Like it's really beautiful. The action's phenomenal. It builds on top of one another. There's no plateau in the action. It just keeps going, keeps building to the very end. And it's very satisfying.
Yeah, it's good you said that because the central theme of the whole movie is getting back to the roots, which is family.
Right.
Like these people have been brought through hell and back. Like
Literally.
There was one of the villains of the road, which we'll talk about later. He actually makes a quote in saying that you started off as like a street punk, 15 years old, whatnot, and just starting boosting like trucks to try to distill stuff to actually making off with millions of dollars in Brazil. Like he was like, this would be so inspiring if it wasn't just whatever. But like from where they started from where they are professionals to what they are. Like nobody can sit there and knock that they're not. Like if you want to try to go up against them, you coming against a family that is designed specifically with different traits. All of them have something good to the table, and it's exemplified in the movie. So for me, the action is just crazy because there was so much danger on every single turn. Every scene, it was like
danger.
Are they gonna make it?
Like, are they gonna make it?
You really don't know. And I mean, I guess for me, I give it a 5 out of 5, like hands down as far as the action, as far as the scope. It's just twice as good, twice as better. And then if I think about the fifth one versus the action in this one, I was like, this one trumped the action in the fifth one. In the fifth one, I was like, looking at the final scene, them toting around like a freaking safe with 2 cars. But this, they brought down the plane, bro. Like, I'm not gonna spoil it, but anyway.
Also, I would like to add how I want to piggyback off what you said of how like they're a professional team.
Yeah.
Now, granted, with the action, it's a professional team going up with a professional team, if not a more qualified professional team. So that's why the danger is so crazy. Because while they're researching the bad guys are researching them and are like, it's like a huge chess game, but you don't even know when the villain's gonna pop up and what's gonna happen. You don't know. At any point in the movie, it can go down. Any point. Yeah. So it's really just great.
It was good. It was good storytelling. It was just good directing. Like to be able to build up anticipation for everything. I mean, we've already seen these characters for like what 8 years now, 10 years technically. The first one started in 2001, so that's years, dude. Yeah. And we've grown up with these characters, but they are still surprising us. They're still making us laugh. They're still making us care, and that shows that they care about the characters. The directors care about the characters. Anyway, we ain't going all that right now.
Yeah.
But all right, so next we'll go into the acting. So Joe, what did you give the environment and action? Out of 1 out of 5 star rating.
I definitely give it a 5 out of 5.
Okay.
It's one of the most action-packed movies I've ever seen in my life.
Actually, he's actually right.
Like seriously, this is off the hinges. Off the hinges.
Ladies and gentlemen, YouTube, this is Lauren Smith. She's the commentary. Good person. She's feeding us. She's awesome. But okay, now going to the acting. So we've got Dominic Toretto, Vin Diesel's character. We've got Paul Walker, Brian O'Connor. We've got Mia. We've got we've got everybody. Like from the fifth one minus the 2 other characters that were from Brazil. And so it brings so much to the table because like these are our family. They made it out with the millions, but for some strange reason they don't feel like this is home. They're not necessarily happy, even though they have things. Like they want to go back home. Like it shows and so evident in all their characters. But now they find that somebody they love and care about, Letty, is potentially still alive. And so Dominic is faced with Hobbs telling him, which is Dwayne Johnson's character, he's back as well.
Yeah.
And he goes to the table. He said, "Look, I know this is gonna be a shock to you, but she might be still alive, and we need your help because she's involved with some people that are very dangerous, and she is." Like, the villain of the story is Owen Shaw. The guy, he's ex-military. He's a weapons vehicular
mobile
like expert, specialist. Like he knows how to use vehicles to kill, destroy, and it's all about precision for him. He even defines that in his character. That is his code. Whereas Dominic's code is family, his precision. Anybody he can use to do what he has to do as far as with getting stuff done, he will use them. He will kill them. He will like it's just amazing. Like how his team is versus Dominic's team, it shows. Like it's like what was it? Was it Tyrese's character was like, yo, look at our doubles, man. He was like, we got this person for this person. This dude looks like me. Ryan, you look like the girl. It was just really good. Like they did a really good job with each villain character, but then it was sad because Letty was on the opposition team, and we don't need to spoil like why she was. We just need to know that she gives Dom a run for his money. Even if you looked at the trailers, you saw that she jumps out the car, she shoots Dom. That was very real. That did happen. There are ramifications to doing things like that. So for the acting for me, like I thought it was so much better because everything was at stake. You saw everybody emoting. You saw people like giving their all. Every character actually got to trump themselves from the older movies, like as far as the action scenes, as far as the acting level. And there was actually some very sad scenes too. Like there's some deaths. There are some high stakes moments where people lose things, and it's just crazy. There's even a special character after the credits.
Stay after the credits.
I highly recommend you stay after the credits and pay attention to Owen Shaw. Every word he talks about, every person he talks about his past, pay attention to it. Okay? Now, Joe, what do you think about acting?
The acting, man, is really great. One of my favorite. I feel like the acting from the Fast and Furious 5, going over to this one, I feel like the acting was pretty similar. But however, there was definitely like a couple more dynamics that I thought was really good. As far as like Letty's character and Dom, you know, that interaction, that drama between the two, was just great. Also, the Asian guy, what's his name? Han. I didn't know what's his real name. Whatever his real name is, I didn't realize he could act that good. Mm-hmm. He's a very good actor, and it is very good. It's seen throughout the movie. Like as far as his relationship with what's her name? She has a sounds like a French name, but anyway, I didn't realize he was such a good actor, man. Like,
it makes you really want to go back and see Tokyo Drift.
Yes.
And see what this character's really all about. And I mean, he does justice to his character. Yes. And anybody that's seen Tokyo Drift, they know Tokyo Drift takes place after this movie. It's not before, it's not in between. All the events, like they said, all roads lead to this moment, which is Tokyo Drift. And at the end of Tokyo Drift, we see Dominic and the Drift King, the new Drift King, they are having their final race. He's talking about how Han was family. You see how much Han was family from these past 3 movies that have come up. So what did you give the rating for that? For the acting?
For the acting, man, I'll give it. For an action movie, I give it a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I'd have to give it definitely a 4 out of 5 too, because every character brought it, but it was so many characters. It's hard to sit there and say one person was better than the rest. Yeah. But it was like when you think about like Owen Shaw, you're like, dang, I want to see more of this dude. Right. Because he brought it. I mean, he could fight. He was good at driving. Like only person that really could stand up against him was Dominic as far as on the driving level. And so, but
there was so much going on. Like the things that they do psychologically, I don't know how they would deal with it, honestly. So it's really crazy.
Really? Really crazy?
Yes.
How crazy?
Okay.
Crazy.
So, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
So they are now part of the review. So SEL0320, I don't know necessarily who everybody is, but they are incorporated into this group.
My name's Gary Williams. I love you guys, every single one of you. But more importantly, God loves you.
Oh,
that is really awesome.
I'm very sorry.
No, you're all good, dude.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's all good.
Have the My next review.
This is gonna be the most epic review ever. Like, we're gonna get some serious reviews on this one. Alright, so on the final cut, get down to the story. Now, if you've seen the first one, seen the second one, third, fourth, fifth, the third one, to me, plays so much more deeper role in this one because of everything that happens towards the end and in the middle. But then, right after Fast Five, you saw, if you stayed during the credits, that Letty was still alive. And that is the epicenter of what's going on here because Hobbs comes to Dom and he tells him, look, she's still alive. She's working on a person that is very highly dangerous. We need your help to get this done. And so for me, I thought the directing was so well made. It was like, out of all four of these movies, it's almost like he planned how he was going to set all this up. Like, I don't know if you saw it, but like when you think about like Tokyo Drift and then how everything you know after seeing this movie, like, they set it up like so perfectly that my anticipation for the very last one, which is gonna be a seventh one, just go ahead and let y'all know that.
Stay after the credits.
The director does such a good job of exploring all the characters to their utmost, but at the same time keeping you invested. And I was very invested in the story for this one. I mean, it was an action movie. I'm not supposed to be invested in the story. I mean, it's 6 movies.
Right.
Like, normal franchises, like, go 3 movies and that's it. But with this one, it actually kept me riveted and invested because they amplify each time after each movie. They bring it to a different level. And so for the storyline for this one, I really loved it and I was invested in it. So I'd have to give the storyline, without spoiling anything, definitely a 5 out of 5 for me. So what did you think about it so we can finish this up?
Story, man, just great. The character development from each movie, man, you really see. I feel like as the movies progress, I feel like the bond between the characters is definitely like shown by the dialogue and the character development is great. You will definitely have a favorite character, and it's like
Yeah.
it really makes you appreciate your friends. Um, well, also, I mean, the story, man, is just great. It's just so many twists and turns. It's very
There's a lot of
in-depth.
twists.
And throughout the series, it really takes you deeper in not only the characters' lives, but also in the crime world. And they're really going deeper in the hierarchy of these criminals. Yeah,
Yeah.
you think that that criminals from what Fast Five have nothing to do with this one, and you would be wrong because it's all intertwined. It's deep. It's really it takes you through the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and it shows to me that even though these people at their core, they have broken the law, like they've gone outside the law, but it shows that they still have a regard for human life. These people that they're dealing with, they have no regard for human life. They kill people. They roll people over. They will they will use
They don't
and
even care
kill
about
whoever.
their own team, so to speak.
And
Technically.
it shows how much more like that their team, Dominic's team, are heroes, vigilantes in a sense, more so than just petty car thieves. And that's why I really loved it because now it's like, wow, these are my characters. Like these are my road dogs. They're funny, they're engaging, they have heart, they look out for each other. And I just really like this movie. Like I've seen it twice now. I'd highly recommend seeing it for anybody that hasn't seen it yet. We got company. We got some stuff we gotta roll out and do. But it's been real. Definitely go see Fast and the Furious 6. If you have been looking at a marathon of the older ones, I'd advise you to go back, especially Tokyo Drift. You will understand why at the end of the credits why I'm saying look at Tokyo Drift again. I'm gonna leave it at that. We will go back and do a spoiler review maybe tomorrow. Not. Peace be with you. Live long, prosper.